Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be a Cassie Cage guide. Instead of showing you all the custom moves that she has, I'm going to show you two builds. These are two builds that I use that I consider competitively viable. First one is kneecapping, flipping out, and shoulder charge. And then the second one is the energy burst and kneecapping. At some point, Cassie Cage was considered top tier. She was considered number one by Sonic Fox at some point, but then she got a nerf to this move here. So back forward 4 now has a flawless block gap. I can't amp it hit, but if I do it like this, here you go, flawless block gap, and she's minus 14. Usually what you would do, right, you would just use this and keep yourself safe like that, minus 4, and then neutral is reset, so you can still move, you don't have to give up your turn. It was strong because at the end of this string here, you can just stop there, it's safe, minus 7. Or you can go for it. It's a duckable high, so that's the danger. And the mind game was that, okay, you're either going to go for the duckable high or you're going to go for this attack here, which you can't duck, even though it says high, right? You can't duck inside this string. Like that. That was the mind game. To prove it to you, I'm going to duck. Boom, I still get hit by the high. So now since then, I don't remember the other changes, but she has become a little bit lower tier. She still pretty much almost has everything that you need. A 9-frame mid, long-ranging moves. This is 11 frames, but look at this range. And 11 frames is still good. To give you context, 11 frames is Jay's back 3, right? Look at this. And she has an auto shimmy, that probably the best auto shimmy in the game. And this is a real auto shimmy. The second hit is 9 frames. So you see the first one is 7 frames. 1, 2, second one is 9. And that means that you can't OS block this, meaning that you would usually block, press Y, and stop blocking. And what that would do is you would still be in block stun, so you wouldn't get opened up by the 1-1-1. And you would tech if they throw. It only works against auto shimmies that are fake, meaning that the second one is something like 15 frames. For example, Cabal has a 15 framer, his auto shimmy is fake. Not Cassie Cage. Auto shimmy is real. It's very strong, and again, for those who are not too familiar, if auto shimmy means it's a move that resembles a throw, which baits your opponents into letting go of block. So they get opened up, and after the 1-1-1, you can follow up with a special move, so you can combo, so it's pretty strong. Again, compared to Scorpion. Scorpion's auto shimmy, don't remember, I think it's fake, I don't really remember the frames, but 1-1-2, after the 2, he can't special cancel, there's a full stop. It's weak, really weak. This isn't weak at all. The only downside is that it's minus 8. Punishable by someone who has a 7 framer. Not all characters have 7 frame startups. A lot of them do though. So like for example, if you fight against Cetrion, you don't need to do anything else than just 1-1-1. But if you fight another Cassie Cage, you would have to do 1-1-1 and do something else to keep yourself safe. So this is why I bring this move, flipping out. You know, I've heard people in tournaments say that this is completely useless. It's because they don't understand its use. It is useless other than in 1-1-1. Like that, minus 3, it's safe. There's a counter, but it's not easy. And there are different distances, like that, for example, right? You can get out of the corner easily just by doing this. It's not useless. It's just, you have to understand how to use it. And if there are any more uses that I don't know of, let me know. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe after back to 4, maybe it's going to be used. Let's see, what's the cancel advantage? 13. Ooh, I don't think that's right. Let's test it out. What's the cancel advantage here? 21. Okay, that's why. So if we do, I think it's going to be interruptible. Yeah, it's interruptible. So it's not good for that. Let's look at the cancel advantage of other stuff. 20 might work with this one. Oh. Yeah, it works with forward 4. So it's not completely useless, right? Speaking of things that are unsafe, so that's a problem with Cassie. Her enders are unsafe, but you don't have to end with her enders. So for example, like this one, forward 4-2, forward 4-1, sorry. The 2 is a high, duckable, so it's unsafe in a way, which is why like it's not very dangerous to interrupt Cassie after this one, because you can fairly assume that she's going to stagger it. You know, sometimes they do things like that, but like let's see here. It's dangerous for her to do this, right? It's unsafe still. So she could do something else, like she can do this, but again, there's a flawless block gap in there, right? So she's never really safe unless she staggers. Same thing like I showed you guys with this one. So with back 2 it's unsafe, with forward 4 it's unsafe, with standing 1 it's unsafe. That's her best 3 moves, by the way. You don't really need to use anything else, pretty much. You know, she has this one. Is it safe? It has to be safe. It's not even safe. So, that's a problem with Cassie Cage. Plus, she hits hard, but not that hard. It's just okay. That's another thing you have to consider when playing her. But, on the bright side, like I said, she has good frames for startup. 9 frame, 11 frame. These are mids. You can't mash on her. And having a 9 frame mid in this game is really, really, really good. And all of her stuff is hit confirmable. So she's honest in a way, but she's kind of easy to play as well. It's not like, for example, Sub-Zero's back 3-2 is very hard to hit confirm, in my opinion. It's fast, right? Not this. This is super easy. Obviously, she has way more strings, but they're not very interesting to me. Maybe 4-2, which is a high, but 0 on block, right? You can bait people into moving around. I'm going to show you that. And it's plus. But only +1. At +1, it doesn't really matter. So, for example, you can reinforce it like that. But let's see here. I can punish you if I reversal backdash. So, it's not that strong. +1 means nothing to me. It's not a frame trap. It's better than nothing. But with that spacing, it's just... like, you're better off probably just doing this. Right? Is she in range for 1? No. Is she in range for 4? Yes. So, it's not bad. What else here? 2-1-1-2, 2-1-1-2. It's a dial-in, which sucks. It's a high again at the end. Can I duck it? If I start low. Is it a real high? Okay, it's a high, but it acts as a mid. Interesting. Which is good. Pushes back. But then, again, it starts with a high. So, are you really going to use that? Probably not. 3-4 is mostly used in combos. It's a high 8 frames. Okay, anyways. Let's start looking at her stuff because I think the strength of Cassie, like I said, is her mids and also her movement after the staggers. Not like just movement here. She's not that quick. She's okay. It's the movement inside the staggers. So her staggers are not unreactable. But it is a strong stagger. So let's test it out by putting the AI on reversal. So here's what's going to happen. Reversal on. And I'm going to put it on custom reversal when I hit her. She's going to do this to me. So let's say I do staggers. The spacing of the stagger. Do you see how the spacing is good? If you're right in front of her face, the spacing is still not bad. Spacing is created, which allows you to backdash. What are the frames? -4, not bad. The limit of what makes it good or a bad stagger in my opinion. So with back 2, that's how you punish people. Do back 2 and then you move. Now, the computer is actually pushing the buttons as fast as possible, right? It's a computer. Even with someone with a 9 frame mid with a long ranging move. Hold on. Okay, so there seems to be... How did I get away with it the first time? Yeah, so if you're far away, more spacing is created. It's a little bit difficult to measure those, so I would just let it rip. Know that you don't have enough spacing and enough good frames and enough speed in your movement backwards to have a very, very strong whiff punisher. This isn't Fujin, right? She's a bit more honest than Fujin. So you have to be careful. If someone uses a fast, long-ranging normal, like Cassie does here, the other Cassie, on read, you're going to get opened up. Now remember, this is a reversal. Human beings need time to react. Which is why, even though you practice this against an AI, it won't work. Against a real person, it will work. See, here it worked because I used proper spacing, but I promise you the back 2 is going to work against people in real life. You're going to have to play around a little bit with back 2. Sometimes it's so fast that what's going to happen is you're just going to backdash and you're not going to open them up, right? Which, by the way, when you backdash, it doesn't have to be that significant because the spacing is there already. Sometimes you can even just let it rip. So if we test it out with 1-1-1, push the button, right? If they push a button like down 1 or 1-1, if they don't have a long ranging move, they're just gonna whiff. So we're here, right? They whiff. So based on this, you don't even have to move back. It depends what they do. You just wait until they punch and you push a button. Same thing with forward 4. Because of the spacing. Again, guys, spacing is key here. You're gonna have to test their reaction. If their reactions are slow, they hesitate because they know you're trying to do something. Or they punch and then, since they're slow, what happens is something like this. They push and then they have time to block again, right? My reactions are slow. What if they're fast? Like the timing is off and then you can't punish them. Or more realistically, this is what this would look like. You can do something else. You can do something like this, and then you grab them. Keep in mind the spacing, right? You're gonna have to dash. Something like that. A micro dash. It's a little bit risky. It's kind of hard to do if you're gonna do it really fast without whiffing. Something like that. You can do that. Of course, you can just punch. You can do down 4. Down 4 is good, and we're gonna talk about it in a second. But yeah, back 2. There's a lot of things to do with back 2. If you stagger it. Don't just always stagger this one, right? Because they know you're gonna stop here. And also when you play Cassie, when you test back 2, 4, start like this and just see how fast they react. If they're slow, you might be able to abuse it like that. Because they might be slow because they're waiting to see if you do something else at the end. But if they take back their turn immediately, that is when you can throw this out there depending on what they do. If they poke, right, you want to throw this one out there. And if they do a standing one, just let that rip in their face, and that's going to open them up. So always test your opponents. All right, forward 4. Look at the spacing. You see? So what happens if other Cassie pushes a button? She whiffs, of course. You can just double up. Like that. Or even if you want to really be sure. Maybe not like that. Something like that, right? So sometimes with forward 4, you will want to backdash. It depends, right? You don't have to backdash if they react with a short range move, with a poke, or with a this. So just a check of the standing 4. This is so good because of the spacing. Careful though, because what if I just mash it? Sometimes if you mash, you might be able to double. I'm minus here, by the way, -3, and I'm still able to, because of the spacing and what she does, right? She whiffs. Let's put her on something more realistic. So I push a button. If I push her away, she's away for a long-ranging normal. Okay, let's do something where it's going to reach me. You have to be careful, right? That reaches, but can I backdash? No. That would be the counter. They use a long-ranging move like Cassie, but Cassie's back 2 is pretty unusual in that it's like such a great normal because of the spacing and because of the range especially and the speed. But yeah, if you use forward 4, you're not even going to be able to backdash against another Cassie Nightmare or anyone against a long-ranging move, even if you're at max speed, max distance I mean. Like Spawn, you couldn't be able to do this, push him away and backdash. He would destroy you. Someone you could do this against is Baraka, probably. Maybe. Depending on what he does. Sonya, probably, definitely Sonya. Liu Kang. Things like that, right? Just careful with this one. But okay, how about forward 4-1? Forward 4-1. No, the spacing is not there anymore. Right. See? I can touch almost, depending on the breathing hitbox, or hurtbox, I mean, which is such a dumb thing in this game, but here I'm close. Sometimes I can touch. Here I definitely don't touch. So when you use forward 4 against to create space to whiff punish with other moves, right? Same thing with this one. Here, like I showed you, the high ender is unsafe because it can be ducked. The mind game is, are you going to do this or are you going to finish normally? If they take back their turn too quickly, you can also try to do something like that. This is -10, but it's safe because of spacing, or you can amp. Like even just not amping it, it's still unsafe. So we've covered 1, forward 4, and back 2. All her best moves. Now let's look at actually back 3. Back 3 is one of the best anti-airs in the game. Like you don't even have to be, you know how with standing 1 you have to kind of be in a good ideal position. See if I'm here, try to press, I get opened up, and most of the case in this game that's what's gonna happen. With back 3, back 3 is amazing. Just throw it out there. As soon as you see them jump, just let it rip. Which is why I think maybe Cassie might be a good option against Cabal, like a jumping crazy Cabal, which I really despise so much, right? Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Could convert like this. Can I get it? And I can. Anyways, you guys can figure out a conversion off of here. But the point is that back 3, amazing. The best. Probably the best, actually. Anti-air in the game. As a button, like usually, you know, Raiden has amazing anti-airs, but it's a full input. Another thing with Cassie, when you use pokes are very average, except her down 4. I really like the down 4. So 8 frames, ooh, that's less than average. Like usually this should be at least 7, so this is terrible. 9, okay, the range is terrible. 10 frames, but the range is good. And not just that, but it pushes people back. It creates space, which is all that you want, because again, when you play Cassie, you want to be... It depends, right? She thrives everywhere. She thrives here in the neutral because she can back 2. She's fine like mid-range. Not mid-range, but like in between neutral and between right in front because of forward 4. And then right in your face, she can shimmy you. But still, you want to use back 4, create some space. Because on block, the pushback, when someone tries to hit you... So here's a secret sauce. With down 4s, in this game, on block and on hit, you can trap your opponents. Like, you don't have a disadvantage technically when you do down 4, regardless of whether it's on block or on hit. Because on hit, you can jail, obviously, you have hit advantage. On block, with some down 4s, the ones that push back, like Cassie's, and the best example is probably Shao Kahn or Secheon, but -7, you're like, my turn is over. Yes, it is, but because of the spacing, you can just mash standing 1, and it's gonna get them when they try to come at you. So for example, right? Look at what the AI is doing. It's just doing this, okay? I'm gonna come with the... You see that? I came. Okay, it's my turn. If I'm not fast enough, I get opened up. What if I'm as fast as possible? I'd have to be like mashing myself as a read to get it, but if I react, I get opened up. What if I do... Yeah, if I'm... Like, if I panic and I go push buttons immediately, if I push forward 4... Okay, if I push forward 4, I just mash, I whiff. But if I try to... I'm like, okay, I need to get close, right? I need to get close. Yeah. If you try to get close, you might just walk into some punches. Like that. So, okay, that's on block and on hit. Let's look at what it is on hit. Plus 16. This is 11. It will jail. Okay, another thing, guys. Jailing, yes. It means that you have higher hit advantage than your startup, right? Hit advantage, 13, look at the bottom right. My startup on this one is 7. And the way you can test this against AIs is if they have time to duck again before your whatever attack, it doesn't gel. If they don't have time to duck, it gels. See how she's always standing? And I'm gonna say, actually, instead of doing down 1 that's 8 frames, might as well do down 3 that's 9 frames because it's easier to react. See how this is difficult to react? Compared to this, how she stands, what's the hit advantage? 14 and this is 13. So you have higher hit advantage with down 3. If you're gonna do it, go with down 3. Especially if you're gonna gel with 1-1-1. If you're slow and you try to gel but you keep getting down to crushing blow because, you know, you have to react first that it touches, you don't have to gel with highs at all. You can just gel with mids. And that's what I recommend, especially against Kombat League demons. Just do that. Okay, but let's look at down 4, right? So down 4, I'm out of range. Oh, it doesn't gel. No, it doesn't matter. Take a step forward and push a button. So see, she's like almost has time to duck. It depends on how fast I am. If I just react, she will have time to duck. But let me tell you something. Even though she has time to duck, even though she's mashing, this takes 10 frames to activate. So she will need 26 frames before she can hit me. Even if she ducks, she's not going to be able to get that thing out. So let's test it out. She's going to do that, okay? See? She doesn't have to do it, time to do it. But if I'm late, right, if I go here, she's doing that, okay? She doesn't have time to do it because she's jailed. What if I do standing 4? Even standing 4. Forward 4. Have to be a little bit faster though. Right? Careful if you do 1-1-1. Oh, 1-1-1 actually works. A little bit dangerous though, careful. So these are your options to gel. Step forward, just like Jade, right? Jade needs to step forward before gelling from her down 4 on hit and doing back 3. You step forward and you hit. Okay, I'm not going to go through combos because this is not a combo guide. There are plenty on the web for you to look at. But I'm going to talk about the other custom moves that I have. Let's first start with my main variation. I have already showed you why flipping out is good in my opinion. Kneecapping, obviously mandatory for zoning and also for comboing, I think. Shoulder charge. Now that one is interesting. Look at this trigger. Look at this crushing blow condition. This is the dumbest condition of all time. It triggers if the opponent blocks late. So it's stupid, but doesn't matter. That's what it is. And what's nice about this thing here, a shoulder charge, is you might actually get away with this often. Because, see, it's just like tiny little bit out of range sometimes. It's minus, what, 15? You're not all, it depends on who you play against, but like sometimes they get away with this. It's much more likely you're going to get away with this than with this because of how close you are, right? So if you're going to do something unsafe, YOLO this out. Okay, shoulder charge. What's nice about it, you can always mash right trigger, right bumper, I mean, the amp, the EX, because it doesn't come out on block. It only comes out on hit. So that's an OS. Always push the button when you shoulder charge. Shoulder charge is a very fast reversal punish because, okay, look at this here. I touch on active frame 3, active frame 1, active frame 1 again from that space. Now there's going to be 4, and what's the max? It's going to be 5, I bet. Okay, so if it's active frame 5, it means that the actual time where it actually touches is frame 13, 14, 15, 16. It will touch on frame 16. So that's why you can't always punish really unsafe stuff, right? You have to consider active frame, but if you're here, it's fast. Like this is faster than a lot of things. Like with Sub-Zero slide, Jace, back forward 3, the stance, and this, I think these are the best reversal punishes in the game. So it's a good reversal punish. I also use it for other things. When we're moving around, I carefully look at them to see if they're blocking, if they're just like willy-nilly just moving around in my face. And sometimes this is so fast it's unreactable. So if they just move and they don't respect that my shoulder charge might be coming, I just throw it out there, boom, and I get them. And after that, the whole time they're scared, right? They're scared. So because of that, then I can freely move in and do whatever I want to them. So sometimes taking the risk with shoulder charge is worth it, especially like I mentioned. For someone who is not used to punishing this, they might actually not punish you. Don't abuse this. Eventually they'll get you, they'll adapt, but I often don't get punished with that one. Kind of a scrub move, but whatever works, works. Alright, kneecap in for this one, we have it, and then the burst. Now, this one has just high advantage, hit advantage, which allows you to combo. So, you can do 1-1-1, you burst, 1-1-1. And the secret to make this work, I used to struggle with this, is you have to buff your input. See, I pressed before. So listen to my controller. I do it. You see how I pressed before when she was still like in the animation of her move? There you go. And then you can just do some higher damage. 355 for 2 bars. So that's pretty high damage for her. Or you can just, if you want to just do it with 1 bar. 258, not really good, but it's all unbreakable. Like usually people can break here really easily. So I think that this is pretty good. The only downside is that it's 2 slots. I don't think it should be 2 slots, but it is what it is. The execution is a little bit tough as well. If you're having a little bit of a hard time, just consider doing it like this. You lose 20 damage, but it's better to have less damage but have consistent damage than to try to do a heavy execution move, or combo, which is like this one, right? Here, I got it, but it's pretty tight. And then drop it from time to time or something like that. So I recommend if you're gonna do this, unless you're Cassie Cage main, you just do it back 2. Or what if we do forward 4? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah, I just use that variation for damage. The more practical variation is this one, because again, you have this one here. What is this called again? It's called flipping out. You have flipping out, which is nice to keep 1-1-1 safe, depending on who you play against. And then you have kneecapping, and then you have shoulder charge, which is probably my favorite Cassie Cage move. I absolutely love reversal punishes. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Let me just make sure that I covered everything. Oh, one more thing, guys. I forgot about that. 1. What's it on block? It's +1. So 1 is +1. Obviously, whenever you play characters, right? One of a really saucy type of technique you can do is just you do standing one once and then you grab or something, like you do this and then you continue with another attack. Like the standing one stagger is great. I really love it. But it's even stronger when you're +1, obviously. She's +1 here. What is she on 1-1? She's -2, which is great. But look at this space. Okay, so she does 1-1-1. She's right in her face. -8, not good. If you do 1-1, you're right here. You can do 1-1, back 2 immediately. Don't even have to backdash unless they use like a really long-ranging moves which allows them to step forward. So for example, if they do back 2 themselves. Okay, so what she is going to do, she's going to do this on reversal. So I'm going to do 1-1. Right, she does this. So in this case, like if I make the read, I can just keep doing it. You can just keep mashing, right? But this is a computer. It's probably not going to be like this in real life. So what you can do is you can backdash. Come on. Can you just walk back? No. Okay, they do a long-ranging move, you backdash and you whiff punish. Like that. Boom. And if they just do a... If they get actually baited and you do 1-1 and then they push a poke or something, you don't even have to move back, right? Just... You do your back 2 immediately. You might even be able to take a little step forward, do forward. So, just an idea, guys. Note that this creates space. A lot of things create space with this chick, right? She's all about the space that she creates. See? So consider that, guys. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Obviously, there's way more to discover with Cassie Cage. I recommend you go to Raptor's Combat Academy website and explore more if you're interested in a deeper dive with Cassie. But this is my introduction to her. She's a character that's fairly fair. None of her staggers are unreactable. They're just difficult, which is perfect. This is how every character should be. They should be like her. There's a pretty good balance. Like, she's strong, but her enders are unsafe. But you don't have to do them, right? You can just keep staggering. And it's like an unsafe where you can duck it, but the frames are fine. I really like that. I like the way she's built. She's very balanced. And she's very fair, in my opinion. So, good character. I respect Cassie Cage mates. So, that's it, guys. Like, subscribe, peace.